What's going on, everybody? I'm back again with another video, and I'm in a place that I've been wanting to come for a long time, which is City Island, right here in the heart of the Bronx, New York. And I think it's like a hidden gem, you know. I've been trying, like I say, for a long time, but due to it being a little far from where I live, but I managed to come today. I think it's supposed to rain later, so I'm gonna do my best to explore this whole island over here. It kind of has like that feel of a small town vibe, but you know, it's in the heart of the Bronx. I took the subway and the bus to get around here, and it's pretty known for a lot of restaurants over here, especially seafood restaurants, but I think they have a little bit of everything. Then it's surrounded also by Pelham Bay Park and the waterfront, so this is just the beginning. I'm by here by City Island Avenue, and I'm gonna start walking towards the southern tip of the island. So without further ado, join me. Let's get this walk started. Here we got one of the restaurants, Seashore Restaurants. Now the thing about this restaurant is I'm allergic to seafood, but I'm gonna explore. Maybe they got other options of food over here. And so far, wow, it's looking pretty nice. And it didn't even take that long from the 6th train Pelham Bay towards here. You take the bus to BX 29. I would say roughly maybe like 10 minutes. So, you know, I'm getting, you know, addicted to taking these buses around here. Like, I think the buses are actually pretty fun, they're pretty nice, they're pretty clean. And then they can take the tapping system. If you have a debit card, credit card, you can take it right here. There's another joint right here, a catering hall. So, you know, it's a really good summer destination right here. So, then on my left side, I see some houses. So, like I say, this is just the beginning of the island. So I'm gonna keep walking forward to see what else can I find. Here's Vista Mar Restaurant and Lounge. Then you see some nice colonial houses across the street. And it's so good that even in a small area like this, you could take the bus. You know, that's the beauty about New York City. The public transportation gets you anywhere you want to go. It's like a main road, and you see it's kind of like the feel of a small town vibe right here. So I also saw like a bike lane. Let me see, there's action happening over here. So it's a small island. Let me see what is here. Diving, oh. Like a waterfront. There's a lot of water surrounded here by the Bronx, especially if you go in Co-op City. You know, that neighborhood that I filmed there years ago. It's surrounded by the water at the end, you know. So like I said, it's literally like a hidden gem. Like I tell you, the best neighborhoods throughout the Bronx are all the way deep up north, like a little far, you know, from other parts. But that's the beauty about exploring. You know, a lot of people, they always try to make it seem like the Bronx is a horrible place, and it's not. Just like any other neighborhood, there's a couple of neighborhoods that are bad, but there's a lot of cool hidden gems out here. Hey, what is this about? Ohana, it looks like a Japanese joint, but then I see a Puerto Rican flag, bienvenidos. Look at this, see? It's a Japanese, all Japanese Latin restaurant fusion. This is dope. So here, Hibachi Seafood Steakhouse. Oh, they sell steak too, so good to know. And there's a little street here called Beach Street. Not gonna walk the whole thing, but I just want to see what the street looks like. Like I said, it's not really a big of an island. I'm gonna detour over here just a little bit just to see what this side looks like. I can already see the other side of the waterfront. But yeah, over here it seems like it's mostly small, you know, regular townhouses. But whoa, what was that? But it's actually pretty cute. I like it out here. So this other avenue of City Island is called Mini Ford Avenue. So literally has two main avenues, which is City Island Avenue and Mini Ford Avenue. And then the Mini Ford Avenue is mostly townhouses that I want to show you guys. This is Mini Ford Avenue. It's just like I say, regular houses, you know, pretty small. So yeah, wow, it literally feels like you just enter another world. So look how cute the street is. These nice houses over here. And yes, like I said, this is not something that people visualize when they think about the Bronx. They always think about apartments, litter and stuff, but this is part of the Bronx. You know, you get nice clean streets with beautiful trees and everything. It's a cute house right here. Wow. And of course, this is also like another patriotic neighborhood because they have their American flag in almost most of the houses, not all of them, but yeah. And like I said before, many good neighborhoods in the Bronx. A lot of bloggers from other countries, they come here and they only cover the bad areas, but tons of great neighborhoods like this one, Riverdale, Spuyten Duyvil, Pelham Bay. You know, you just got to explore around. It's actually nicer ahead of me because the street is literally covered with trees. Then over there's City Island Avenue, where there's not much going on, just literally like a basic pier. But here, wow. Look at this. Feels like you literally just enter another world out here. This is dope. Just look at the street out here. The beautiful tall trees and the houses. Tell you, must be like a great summer destination. Today is Wednesday, so I don't think there's much going on. But I'm pretty sure in the weekend or maybe later in the evening, this place comes out to life, especially because of the restaurants and the strip that they have out here. But here you can see like what some of the houses look like. I think a block ahead, I'm gonna make it back towards City Island Avenue and start walking all the way towards the southern tip of the island, you know. Good thing it's not too big, so it's pretty easy for me to walk and explore around. Yeah, but I'm loving it out here so far. It's pretty cool. Now I'm about to hit City Island Avenue to see what are the vibes over there. Like I say, not too many people, so just a peaceful vibe. Most of the people, they own cars out here, so has really like that suburb feel. I see a restaurant out here. Here we are back again. Dominance Market, so they got like a market joint right here, surrounded by little small houses. Then the enemy is another regular street that will give you that vibe, like if you just enter the suburbs. Look at this house, people. Colorful. That's nice. And across the street, we got this cute houses, the yellow one. Then the blue one, there's like a little church over here ahead. And it says medical office, so it's a little small island that has it all. This is the New York Public Library right here. So they got themselves a library. Across the street, they got a Mediterranean joint. So it's not just seafood, they got like sandwich, even ice cream, but it's closed right now. But yeah, this one, Little Greece Mediterranean. So, you know, it's nice. So every street here is pretty worth to look at, you know. You just get distracted with everything that it has to offer out here. So yeah. Like I tell you, it doesn't even feel like if you're in New York City. This feels like you're in a small town, like somewhere else. But that's the beauty about New York. Like it's so diverse and it offers a lot. They even have a diner here. Wow, it looks kind of small. Unless there's another entrance. Maybe it's in here. It seems like this is where most of the action happens out here. I think there's like a little plaza across the street. So I'm gonna cross the street. Tell you, man, if you look at this over here, I would think that I'm in a township, I don't know, in New Jersey or Connecticut or even upstate New York. Like the vibes over here are just crazy, but it's actually pretty nice. And here you could park your bike. So, you know, a perfect island to bike around. There's a little tiny park out here. It's more like a square or a plaza. And then over here, look at the vibes, you know, it's pretty nice and gorgeous. Some of the architectures here are, you know, they're pretty nice, so it's really cool. I'm gonna do a little detour over here to see what are the vibes, just to show you what's going on. So over here, I met some people that were asking me if I live here. I said, no, my first time here, and I'm just exploring and covering the neighborhood. But, you know, it has that small town vibe. Like the people are so nice and friendly. Then over here, the street is pretty nice. See, just look at this house, it's wow. I can see myself living here, but commuting is a little bit, not hard, it's easy, but you have to take multiple forms of transportation if you want to get to Manhattan. But this is nice, you know, if you want like a getaway and escape and live peaceful, but kind of with the amenities of a city, you know, like having public transportation, then I think it's actually really cool. Look at this house. Yeah, I'm very in love with this neighborhood. It blew my mind. But now let me go hit again City Island Avenue to see what's going on, because I think it's getting even better and more interesting the south or the deep down I walk. Yeah, just look at this. Wow, man. I can't believe almost 15 years I've been living around the New York City metro area, I never managed to come out here. But I'm glad I did. I'm trying to get all the neighborhoods I haven't covered before I head back abroad, you know. But yeah, it just blows my mind. But yeah, let me just make it back to the main street to see what else is happening out here. And I'm already feeling the raindrops. Good thing I brought my umbrella, so rain, sleet, or snow, I'll be here making content. And look at this over here. Multiple establishments. Even have the outdoor dining area, but you know, pretty quiet. Got a pizzeria out here. Then bicycles. I guess a lot of people, they bike around, they stop here. This is what? Jewelry, arts, and gift. Then there should be like a local park ahead of me. I don't think it's that big, but I'll explore it no matter what. There's a mural across the street, so I just want to cross the street and show you guys. So here you got a mural. I guess it's like a memorial dedicated, to 9/11. Simple but pretty nice, the street art that they got here with the Twin Towers. Now let me continue my exploration. Here's like a nice looking house. Figure ahead of me, it looks like a tavern or something else. Pizzeria over here. I've been hearing that the pizza in Bronx is pretty good, so I might have to venture around and try some of the pizzas out here. But there's like big debates, like Bronx has good pizza, Brooklyn, New York has some amazing pizza, so you just gotta know where to look at. Like I told you, it's a massive city, so here I'm in a little local park called Ambrosini Field Park. I can assume it's kind of like a baseball park, but it got a little bit of everything. Field over here, there's a baseball field, but it's quiet. Then there's the other side of the island with this water, and it seems like they're doing some renovations to my right side. So, like I said, I don't think it's that big, but I'm just checking it out to see what are the vibes out here. You can't see clear, but it's literally like a marina over there with a lot of jets. It's bordered up by the fence. And then here, let me see if I can penetrate. Got a football or softball field. Pretty interesting. Let me hit the main street. There's a post office, and I want to detour in some of the regular streets so you can see what's happening. I tell you, the drops are starting to fall, but hopefully it doesn't pour us down until I finish up my video. Now I'm detouring over Winter Street to see what's going on. The street is a little bit more wider than the other regular streets that you find in City Island, and it's pretty much like any traditional street that you get in the suburbs out in the States. You see the sidewalks, nice houses surrounded by the trees, and like I say, most of the people here, they own their cars. Wow, I can literally smell like the pine trees. There's the thing about the trees, I just love smelling, the trees, like the nature. And the 360 view of the street. And there's a post office in the corner. Here's a postal office. In a lot of residential areas, downtown areas or neighborhoods, they got like their own post office. So this is the post office that serves City Island. And there's a marina to my left. Gonna keep walking forward until I reach the southern tip. Good thing the bus goes all the way down south. I think I'm probably like half of the island explored. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm starting to feel, I don't know if it's like the water or the trees combined, but it's something that you rarely smell when you're in an urban area because of the buildings and stuff. It kind of smells like the nature when you hit literally like outside, a crowded area. And it's crazy, this is still New York City, even more, the Bronx. Usually, it never gets like a really good type of reputation. Not too far from here is Orchard Beach, which you can take the bus, to get here, you take the 6 train to the last stop, Pelham Bay. Once you get off, there's the bus, the BS29 that takes you here. And if you want to go to Orchard Beach, there's another bus too. I forgot which one it is, but it'll take you towards there. If you read the signs in the subway station, it tells you about it. They even got their dental clinic service, City Island Dental. So like I told you, this neighborhood has it all within walking distance. Then the pier and the marina right here. So I still got more to go. I think the southern tip is like a little greenery or a little plaza, and it's called Belden Point. So I'm pretty sure once you walk there, you'll see the whole waterfront. But yeah, it really blew my mind. I can't believe that it took me so long to come here to City Island. But I'm glad I came. That's why summer is just the best, because it gives you plenty of time and good vibes for you to walk around and explore a lot of districts and areas. And there's like another small church right here. This church makes you feel like if you're in the South or somewhere else. There's also some restaurants. So the restaurants are literally like spread out. So I guess the best way to come here is by car. But like I said, the bus gets you around. But I always keep hearing, people that I know from New York, especially the Bronx or even Jersey, like, oh, City Island. And I just thought it was mostly like a seafood strip, but it's literally like a semi-township or a whole district out here with a community happening. To be honest, I think the strip area is mostly happening over here to the southern tip. I already start seeing a joint ahead of me. It's called Sammy's Barbecue. So it's not just only seafood. It got barbecue, a little bit of everything. I can see it goes down a hill. So I think this is gonna be pretty interesting. I'm pretty sure in the evening or nighttime, it's pretty nice out here. So here you see Sammy's Barbecue, and they got a massive parking lot right here. So I'm gonna assume that it probably gets busy. you know, on a weekend or something like that, on a good day. But yeah, well, shrimp bots, I cannot eat shrimp, so they got the restaurant, and then across the street it says takeout, so I guess it's multiple units out here. Here says Sammy's Takeout, but I see a beautiful lobster, which I want to cry because it looks delicious, but you know, it would do some big damage to me if I eat that. And there's people eating out here in the inside, not outside. Then the southern tip of the island is ahead of me. So then ahead of me is the dead end road. I see people chilling over there. I see like a land and the waterfront, and there's also a couple of restaurants here with a huge, massive parking lot. But let me see what are the vibes over here. Now, I could be wrong, but some of the land that you see over there, I think it could be Long Island. Long Island and Queens should be over this way. But yeah, this is pretty unique, and this is the tip of this island right here. Wow, what an awesome evening out here. I had a blast exploring this neighborhood out here in the Bronx City Island, you know, really cool neighborhood. And if you ever come to New York City, especially in the summertime, I highly recommend that you come here, you know. It's totally worth the trip, and it's like a different vibe. Also, if you're a fan of seafood, I think you will love this area over here, because you got like a lot of restaurants over here that you can eat, you know. I cannot eat that, unfortunately, but yeah, pretty cool vibes over here. So I'm gonna start wrapping up my video. That was the end of my video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more. Be safe out there, everybody. God bless y'all, and peace.